Hello, boys and girls. This is Mrs. Eaglestein, and this week I'm going to be teaching you reading. I am super excited about this because we are moving into a brand new reading unit. You guys did a fabulous job learning all about how to share an opinion and make an opinion about a book. And now we're going to be moving on to learning about taking more risks in reading. We're going to be learning about different story elements in books and becoming stronger readers. All right, so today and this week, we're going to be looking back at some familiar books that you've probably read in your classroom, and we're going to be learning about two different things. The goal is to be able to understand and identify the plot of the story and the setting. Today, we're going to work on learning about what a plot is. A plot, and I'm going to show you right here. A plot is what happens in the story. It's the story's events. And you will hopefully be able to tell us about the plot, sharing the beginning, the middle, and the end of a story. Can you say that with me? Beginning, middle, and end. So right now, we're going to take a look at a story you've probably read before. I think you might have even read it last week. And when we're done, you're going to share with me the beginning, middle, and end. All right, so here we go. It's the Three Little Pigs. Once upon a time, an old mother pig and her family fell into misfortune. And so she sent her three little pigs out into the world to make their own way. The first little pig went out into the world. He soon settled down and built himself a little house of straw. Before long, a big bad wolf came along and saw the little house of straw. He looked into the window and saw the first little pig inside. The big bad wolf knocked on the door and called, little pig, let me in." The first little pig cried, "Not by the hair of my chinny chin chin." "Then I'll huff and I'll puff and I'll blow your house in," growled the big bad wolf. And he huffed and he puffed and he blew the house down. The big bad wolf found the first little pig and he gobbled him up. The second little pig went out into the world. He soon settled down and built himself a house of sticks. Before long, the big bad wolf came along and he saw the little house of sticks. He looked in the window and saw the little pig inside. The big bad wolf knocked on the door and called, little pig, let me in." And the little pig cried, can you say it with me? "Not by the hair of my chinny chin chin. Then I'll huff and I'll puff and I'll blow your house in," growled the big bad wolf. And he huffed and he puffed and he blew the house down. He found the second little pig and he gobbled him up. The third pig went out into the world. He soon settled down and built himself a house of brick. Before long, the big bad wolf came along and saw the little house of bricks. He looked in the window and he saw the third little pig inside. The big bad wolf knocked on the door and called, little pig, let me in." "Not by the hair of my chinny chin chin. Then I'll huff and I'll puff and I'll blow your house in," growled the big bad wolf. And he huffed and he puffed. And he huffed and he puffed again, but he could not blow down the house of bricks. The big bad wolf knew he had to be clever to catch the third little pig. "Little pig," he called, I know where to pick the sweetest turnips. Come out and I'll show you. No, thank you, said the pig politely. He knew the wolf was trying to trick him. I don't like turnips, and the big bad wolf went away. The next day, the big bad wolf came back. Little pig, he called, I'm going to the fair. Will you come with me? No, thank you, said the pig. I have no money for the fair. And the big bad wolf went away. The next day, the big bad wolf came back once more. Little pig, he called, the best apples grow in Farmer Brown's garden. Come out and I'll show you there. The pig knew big bad wolf would never leave him alone. He had a plan. I'll meet you tomorrow at 5 o'clock, he said. And the next day, the pig ran out of his house at 4 o'clock. He ran to Farmer Brown's garden. He picked a big basket of apples and ran home again. He put a big pot on the fire to heat water for his tea. The big bad wolf came back at 5 o'clock. Little pig, he called, are you ready to go to Farmer Brown's garden? I've already been and come home again. We came home again, said the pig. At this, the wolf grew angry. He had to trick the pig. He tried to trick the pig 3 times, and it had not worked. He wanted to eat the pig now. He got a running start and leaped high into the air. He landed on the roof with a loud thump. He jumped down the chimney and splash landed in the big pot of boiling hot water. And that was the end of the wolf. And the little pig lived happily ever after in his little brick house. The end. All right, boys and girls. So now we're going to think about plot. We're going to think about those elements that I showed you before. Story elements. What happened in the beginning, the middle, and the end of the story of the 3 little pigs? So take a minute to think about that. All right. So right now, we're gonna walk through this one together. So if I'm thinking about the beginning of the story, the 3 little pigs, I'm thinking that there were 3 little pigs who set out on their own. And then in the middle, one pig made a house of straw. One pig made a house of hay. And one pig made a house of brick, right? And what happened in the middle? The big bad wolf came and he huffed and he puffed and he blew the houses down. He blew the first 2 houses down. And then in the end, he tried to blow down the house of brick. But what happened? He wasn't successful in the end, right? He couldn't blow down the house of brick and he tried to trick the pig. He was not successful and the pig ended up getting the big bad wolf in the end. All right, boys and girls, my task for you today is you're gonna go find a book on Epic, any book you want. You're gonna read that book or you're gonna listen to the book be read to you. And then you're going to share the plot of that story. So you're gonna go on, you're gonna read the book, and then you can record a seesaw of telling what the plot, everyone say plot, what the plot of your story was, what the beginning of your story was, what the middle of your story was, and what the end of your story was. All right, have a great time reading, happy reading. And we can't wait to see what your story that you decided was and what the plot of your story was. Bye-bye.